Salut, David Wallman here. Welcome to the third and last part of the series of lessons teaching you how to play fusion guitar. Fusion music is a blend of different musical genres, and it can be a lot of different styles of music, but generally speaking, it's going to be a blend of rock music and jazz music. Rock with all its raw power and all the visual aspect of playing guitar. Jazz with all the rules and theory that you can break, of course, but it's more of a focused approach and more of a thoughtful approach to rock music. Most fusion guitar players come from a rock background, and they start learning about modes and theory, and they start learning too much to just do rock music. And usually when rockers get into that genre of music, they understand the music, they understand the theory behind it, but when they play, they don't really sound fusion, and that's a problem. They have all this rock background, all this rock baggage, these licks, this musical vocabulary, which is basically the set of words that you've learned in your musical experiences before in the rock world, and you bring that to the jazz world, and it doesn't really sound jazzy. How do you deal with that? This lesson is for you. We're going to talk about how to fusionize your licks. Rockers love the minor pentatonic scale. Why? Because it's an easy scale to play. It only requires, for the most cases, 2 fingers, and the way that these pentatonic positions are organized are very visual. They don't stretch out too much on the fretboard. They're very concise in one small area of the fretboard, and the smaller the better, because you don't have to memorize all these crazy diagrams. If you take a minor pentatonic scale and spread it all over the fretboard, you can split that fretboard into 5 sections, 5 positions. Each one of these positions start with one of the 5 notes of the minor pentatonic scale. And at first, I'm sure you started with the first position. You might be still stuck in that position, but if you're adventurous, you might explore the other positions and have a fairly decent knowledge of the whole fretboard. You should. Using these positions over fusion backing track, fusion context, will work. The pentatonic scale is found in so many other more complex scales that you can very well get along with just knowing the minor pentatonic scale and playing over all these styles. You're going to sound like a blues rock player playing fusion. Fusion doesn't have to be complicated. There's a few simple tricks that you can apply to your minor pentatonic blues licks to make them sound fusion. We've explored some of these ideas previously. In the first lesson, we talked about playing outside a little bit. Last week we talked about landing notes. Today we're simply going to take some of the blues licks that you're familiar with and see what we can add to them, how we can approach them to make them sound fusion-y. Chromaticisms, super important in fusion. A chromatic passage is simply a musical passage between 2 notes of different values, and between these 2 notes you're going to have a series of other notes that you usually don't play. In a chromatic passage, you're going to play all these notes in between. This helps create movement, and it helps create a rhythm flow, which is really important in fusion. How do you approach that on a simple lick such as the one that you're hearing right now? First, we need to see where that lick is played on the fretboard, which position it covers. Once we did that, you can see that there are 2 notes on each string, and that's part of the reason why blues rockers love the pentatonic scale. Just 2 notes per string. You can play that scale with just 2 fingers pretty much. If we take these 2 notes and we fill in the blanks, add some chromatic passages on each set of strings, we're going to have a hybrid pentatonic scale filled with chromaticisms. Very fusion-y. If we go back to our lick, we can add some of these chromatic passages within the lick. There's a lot of different ways of doing that, but that's a simple way to fusionize a blues rock lick. Chromatic passages can be very long, such as 12 frets, for example, between a root and its octave, or very short, between a note and the next note a half step up. That means that within the minor pentatonic scale, not only can we fill in the blanks between 2 notes found on the same strings, but we can also approach each note found in the scale from a note played a half step below. That's a tiny little chromatic passage. You can also do that from a half step higher, as long as the landing note is in the scale. Let's apply that to another lick. This is a standard minor pentatonic lick. And we can fusionize that lick by adding some chromatic passages before some of the notes of the lick. Just like any genre of music, in order to successfully play that style of music, you need to listen to it. Remember that when you approach a lick, you don't have to play that lick note per note. The key to successfully incorporating one of the licks into your own playing is to extract the essence of that lick, what makes it interesting to you. And if there's nothing interesting in there, move on to the next lick. In order to help you improve and develop your musical vocabulary, I produced a set of 30 video licks, 30 fusion licks, 30 licks for 30 days. That means that for the next month, you will know what to practice every single day. Each lick comes with a tab, a high quality video, and there's some backing tracks on there to help you study these licks. And they also come with the scale diagrams so that you know where these licks should work on your fretboard. Thank you for following me on this series of fusion phrasing. I hope you enjoyed this. You can get your free lick by clicking on the link that is in the description of this video. This free lick is a new lick, so if you downloaded the 2 last week's licks, this is a new one, so go ahead and grab it, it's free. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, thumbs up, and please subscribe to my videos. This helps me keep on top of the YouTube charts, and it helps me produce better quality content. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time, and until then, salut.